Tren de Aragua, now operating in even more U.S. cities than originally feared. And they're hiding among the 1 million Venezuelan illegal immigrants who have entered the country during the Biden-Harris administration. Here to discuss is Executive Director for the Center for a Secure, Free Society and Heritage Foundation visiting fellow, Joseph Humire. Joseph, it's so great to have you on the show today. And I think a lot of us are becoming more aware of Tren de Aragua, that they're not just at the border and in San Antonio, they've gone to Colorado. We've done stories of them all the way up in Wisconsin. I just saw a list. I was talking to a friend who lives in Bergen County, New Jersey, and they're in her county as well. So what else don't we know about this? How is Tren de Aragua different than, say, other gangs, even violent gangs like MS-13?
Yeah, Rachel. No, I think a lot of Americans are just starting to learn about the Tren de Aragua. They really caught not just Americans by surprise. They caught law enforcement communities, law enforcement agencies by surprise throughout the country. They're now present in at least 15 states in America. But here's the thing that I think people need to understand about Tren de Aragua. There's two things, really. The first is that they're state-sponsored, meaning that this isn't like other transnational criminal organizations that they grew from poor neighborhoods and they kind of took over urban and suburban neighborhoods inside their countries. This one was created specifically by the government to take over other criminal organizations in Venezuela and then to export it outside of Venezuela following the Venezuelan migration that left the country, the largest migration in the world, 8 million Venezuelans that fled since 2014. So this is a state-sponsored.
So why would the government of Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro, want to state-sponsor this kind of gang? What's their motive?
It's the same reason why Iran sponsors Hamas or sponsors Hezbollah, because these type of regimes, they look at terrorism and transnational organized crime as weapons of asymmetric warfare. So they're using these as weapons to destabilize first all of South America, but the real intent was to use these as weapons to destabilize the United States. Since the beginning of the Bolivarian Revolution, which is what Chavismo is, they've declared the United States as an enemy going back to 1999, and they've been developing methods and tools to attack us asymmetrically, not through conventional means, not through militaries, but through criminals, through terrorists, and through migrants. And that's what this is. That's fundamentally what this is. The other thing, Rachel, that makes them a bit unique is because they're tied to the regime, they have a bit of that socialist underpinning. They have a bit of an ideological makeup. When you start to see Tren de Aragua do what they call invasions, which is squatting in empty buildings or taking over apartment complexes, this is what they did in Venezuela. And they call it invasions because they attack property rights. That's a fundamental thing that they're trained in inside the Venezuelan prisons. And we're starting to see it today in American streets.
Wow, that is so fascinating, which makes it all the more just infuriating when you hear elites like Martha Raddatz on that incredible interview that she had with J.D. Vance, where she's like, it's only a few apartment buildings. First of all, she lives in a nice house, and if it happened, then that Agua was invading her home, she probably wouldn't feel quite as lackadaisical about it. But it seems like even the press and Democrats either they don't know what you know about the ideological underpinnings and the sort of asymmetrical warfare that you talk about that's so frightening, that they're trying to invade our country and destabilize it, or they don't care. What is your take on this? Because a lot of people are scratching their heads wondering, why in the heck would the Democrats leave the border open with just knowing about Tren de Aragua alone?
Well, I think one of the reasons is they're part of the problem. It's their failed policies that allow this to happen. The Tren de Aragua is unique in the sense that, not like MS-13 in the Mexico cartels, they've been around for decades. This is uniquely a Biden-Harris administration problem. There was no Tren de Aragua in the United States prior to 2021. After 2021, they started growing incrementally, and now they're exploding throughout the country. And check this. They did this because the Biden and Harris administration didn't understand that Venezuela has a unique vetting problem. We don't get any information from the Venezuelan government about criminals that are coming from their country. We have no cooperation with that regime. And because of that, the vetting of Venezuelan migrants has to be done more carefully. But instead of slowing down the vetting process, as you think you would do with this situation, they sped it up through parole programs, through humanitarian programs. And that's the way Tren de Aragua found their way inside America.
It's such an incredible story. Joseph Humire, you're always a wealth of information on this. I wish you were advising the Biden-Harris administration on this information. It seems like they're the people that ought to be more aware of it and protecting us and closing the border so this wouldn't have happened. But I'm glad you pointed out this is a Biden-Harris phenomenon, this idea of these transnational gang, Tren de Agua, in our country starting in 2021. Joseph Humar, thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you, Rachel.
You got it.